Hey guys, it's Sasha with Rice and Raw, and I recently put out a request on my Instagram for people to ask me questions about me for an About Me video. I wasn't really coming up with anything relevant, so I wanted to see what you guys want to know about me, and I got so much love. You guys are all so wonderful. I really appreciate it. I'm just like feeling the love. And I did get a lot of questions about things that don't really regard me. It's just more general questions about Raw Till 4 or 80-10-10, and I'll probably cover that in a video in the future, but it doesn't really fit in with this video, so I'm going to try to cover as many questions as I can. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of questions, you guys. You are all awesome. I might have to make like more videos in one. Okay. Starting off with the basics, my nationality. I'm Italian, Slovak, English, with a bit of German and Scottish mixed in. And I was born in Dayton, Ohio on April 14th, and I'm 23 years old. My zodiac sign is Aries, and Aries are fiery and passionate and just know what they want and they go after it. And I feel like that really fits who I am. And my favorite activity when I was a kid, I like that question. Me and my best friend would play dogs all the time. We would pretend to be dogs running around on all fours. That was like the game. We would play that for hours and hours, for years and years. That was the game to play. Patty Blake asked a really good question. If you were stranded on a desert island with only one fruit for the rest of your life, what would you choose? That'd be mangoes. Because I just don't see myself getting sick of mangoes. As long as the mangoes are perfectly ripe, I could eat them for days. My favorite top 3 fruits are mangoes, figs, and bananas. And do I plan on staying this lifestyle forever? Yes, absolutely. Even if it is not going to be, fully raw, or it doesn't really matter the raw percentage, I'm always going to be a high-carb vegan. What is your favorite smoothie? Banana smoothie. I like keeping it simple, and it just makes me feel so good, and it's just my go-to smoothie. How do I incorporate eco-friendly choices in my lifestyle besides my diet? I started recycling. I really am passionate about recycling, and I try my best to buy like used things or reuse things, and recently I have been buying things that are new. It's hard. It's definitely hard to kind of like break that habit, but I definitely have been trying to buy less unnecessary things, and I'm looking to getting more eco-friendly car for my next car. What is the best way to spread the vegan message? I think that is just leading by example and just being like a healthy, like happy person, and people are gonna ask like, how are you, so alive and like are so energetic in the morning, and you have great skin and you look healthy, like what's going on, what are you doing? People will want to know. And my favorite place I've traveled and why, and that would be England. My mom's side of the family lives in England, and we've been going probably every 4 years for my whole life. So it holds a lot of really good childhood memories. Places I would like to travel: Paris. I've always wanted to go to Paris, and this summer I'm going for like 2 days, and I'm so excited. And I've always wanted to go to Thailand, and I'm not going to Thailand this summer. I'm so upset about it. I can't make the Raw Till 4 festival, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So let's see. Oh, I've also wanted to go to Italy, Morocco, and Scotland. Definitely like my top picks there. What kind of music do I like? I love Lana Del Rey and Ellie Goulding and that type of music. I love girl singers. I also love August and Julia Stone, and I also love classical dubstep. Yeah. My favorite book of all time, Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. My favorite movies, the Bridget Jones' Diary movies. Also Anastasia, the cartoon. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I really like it. I love that whole Russian vibe, the Last Grand Duchess and all that. Also Jeux d'Enfants. I hope I said that right. That's French. It's a movie. It's a French movie. It has subtitles, but I really love it, and the American title is called Love Me If You Dare, so it doesn't directly translate. It's actually Jeux d'Enfants means child's play or something like that. What's my guilty pleasure? I love black comedies. I really think they're hilarious. Like Diary of a Mad Black Woman is one of like my favorite movies. And also TV shows. Completely used to be addicted. Like I used to keep up with like 14 shows at once. Big Hulu addict. Now, not so much. My favorite TV series of all time and what I'm into now. So Revenge, I really love now, and How I Met Your Mother. And I also love Sex and the City, Modern Family, and Game of Thrones. And also another guilty pleasure is the Real Housewives series. I love all of those. Yeah. My favorite celebrity, I don't really get starstruck, but I really like Miley Cyrus because, you know, she could just post a picture of a stuffed animal on her Instagram and like upset thousands of people. Like, people just really can hate her or really can love her, and I just like that she owns it and she makes no apologies for what she does. I just think that's really cool. I don't know. I really respect that. I also really like Scott Disick and Lana Del Rey and Carly Kloss. And I feel like I'd probably be much more starstruck if I saw Truly Enduring Rider. Like, that's when I would fangirl. What language would I like to speak? I would love to speak French properly. I know a bit of French from high school, but beyond that, nothing major. Also, I would really like to know Korean just to communicate with my boyfriend's parents easier, and I'm sure Joe would be really jealous if I could speak better Korean than him. So, my favorite quotes, I have two. So one by Henry Ford is, "Whether or not you think you can or can't, either way you are right." And also one by Marianne Williamson. "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?" I really love that quote because it doesn't allow you just to sit back and be, you know, just mediocre. You have to go after your dreams. You have to challenge yourself and be okay with the amount of potential that you have, because the amount of potential you have is infinite, and that can be scary. All right, so what mantras or phrases do I repeat to myself to stay positive? I really don't have any specific mantras, but my goal is always happiness, and I live by kind of the principles of The Secret, you know, the movie and the book. Yeah, that movie really resonated with me, and that's kind of how I've always thought. It just conceptualized it, so it made it a lot easier for me to go about my life. And you know, guys, check out the movie The Secret if you haven't. The Secret, sorry, I'm kind of slurring my words right now. I just want to go through this quickly because there's a lot of questions. My biggest fear is people getting the wrong impression of me, or not giving me the opportunity to be who I am. Am I an extrovert or an introvert? Definitely an introvert. I like recharge when I'm on my own. I love being on my own. I do love talking to people, and it's the best when you're hanging out with your friends and you're having a great conversation. I love that. But I don't really get myself into those types of situations so much because I really give it all my energy to that, and I need time to recharge after. What do I look for in a friendship? I really look for people who do not judge. I really don't feel comfortable around people who are always talking about others, just negativity in general. I love when I meet a girl, especially, who just like tells me things that usually people would judge them for, but I'm not a person who judges, so I think it's just so cool that they're open with me and they're telling me things. And, you know, I don't look for people who follow the status quo. I like people who do their own thing, don't make excuses for it, don't make apologies, and just own it. I really appreciate that in someone. I also like people who can just keep a conversation going, who just love talking, because I'm not the best conversationalist. I have a lot of awkward pauses, you know, I'll be like, oh shoot, what do I say? So it's really great to have someone who just is just always going to just keep the conversation rolling, so I can just relax and know that, you know, they got it. And I also really appreciate people who are okay with going like a month or two not talking to me, and then we can hang out and it be just like we hang out every single day. Because I do kind of like disappear sometimes because I'm an introvert, and I just appreciate the friends who will stick around and, you know, not judge me if I don't talk to them for a month. It's not like I avoid them or ignore them, but I don't actively reach out to people. Let's see. My favorite memory of Clea is the day I brought her home, and she was sitting on my lap in the car, and she just looked up at me, and oh my gosh, it was so sweet. And she was also just like running around the car at one point, and I knew that she was like such a mischief. So, oh, I love her. And did you grow up having pets, or is Clea your first pet? In middle school, my friend's mom convinced my mom to get a dog, and so we rescued a little Chihuahua Terrier Whip It Mix, and we still have her. Her name's Selma, and my sister on Instagram posts pictures of her all the time. She's so sweet. Let's see. What are you studying in school? I graduated last year, but I graduated in accounting. And what are my plans for money in the future? Well, this summer I'm going to be starting a job, an accounting job, and it's a pretty significant and substantial job, which takes up a lot of my time. And I don't really know how long I'm going to stay there, if it's going to be 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, who knows. I'm just going to play it by ear and just, see where it takes me. I can see this, being a career for a good amount of time, but I do want to have a family and be there for my kids and kind of be a stay-at-home mom if that's possible. And then after, they grow up a little bit, kind of start my own company, my own job where maybe I can help other people, in this type of movement, maybe some kind of life coaching, get certified and all that. That would be ideal. I really would love to help people personally and just help them achieve like the best they can be. Do I ever see myself making a career out of holistic healing nutrition? Yeah, like I said, I could see that in the future down the line. I feel like I'd have to be much more experienced, and I do want to be certified in a lot more things like plant-based nutrition, maybe some kind of life coaching. Obviously right now I'm much younger. I can't really, offer people anything other than my experience. So I'm just doing the best I can right now to help out other people. What are my future goals in life? Yeah, I just really want a family. I really do. I would love to have kids and, kind of be the soccer mom, the, yoga Pilates mom, kind of, I don't know, I would love that. Let's see, what are you passionate about besides veganism, health, and fitness? I love helping people, like I said before. I also just love constantly improving myself. I'm passionate about business and accounting. I love all that. I also love being outdoors and like fashion. Like this person just asked, I noticed that you're kind of into fashion. What's your favorite outfit to wear? Shoes included. Any outfit that involves wearing leggings and my new Litas, which are fake Litas because I couldn't find the vegan kind and I wasn't about to buy, the leather kind, but I just love that right now. What's my biggest success? The fact that I'm resilient and, I'll hit rock bottom, but then I'll just like get right back up there and I don't accept defeat. I just keep going and I'll never accept mediocrity or moderation. I just go for it. I go for what I want, and overall that's helped me be successful in every aspect of my life. Would I rather visit 100 years in the past or 100 years in the future? This is a cool question. I want to say 100 years in the future, but I don't want it to be disheartening and depressing. If it's just like a terrible, terrible world with even worse pollution and like more obesity, that would really scare me. So I think it would be 100 years in the past, just because I don't want to, just get down about it. Because who knows what 100 years will be like in the future. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot better. What's my favorite Korean food? Probably bibimbap or japchae, and I hope I pronounced those right. I'll show you guys pictures of it right now. So that's bibimbap, and that's japchae. And what's your favorite thing about having a Korean boyfriend? Well, he's really sexy, so that's awesome. Kidding, but he is. I really love that he has good family values and that he has a drive for success. Let's see what else? Oh, I love the Korean food, and that he will always be ready to go out and eat Asian food, because it's much easier for me as a high-carb vegan to go out and eat an Asian-style dinner than like an Italian-style dinner, because all of the rice, it's usually lower fat, and he is always for it, which makes it much easier for me. And I love that his mom is an amazing cook, and she's actually taught me to cook a little bit. And what else? Yeah, so that's, I guess, the main aspects of it. And why do I love my boyfriend, and would I ever change him for anyone else? I love him because he's a kind and gentle soul. At first I thought he was like this crazy outgoing guy, a guy's guy and all that. But once I kind of broke down his walls, I noticed he's a lot like me. He's an introvert. He's a lot more like, I want to say that, he's a lot more sensitive than I originally would have thought. He's a lot deeper than he kind of comes off to people. Would I ever change for anyone else? Well, right now, you know, I'm not sure of anything in my future. I love being around him. I love hanging out with him. Right now in my life, it feels right to be with him. We haven't decided if we want to spend the rest of our lives together. You know, we don't really talk about that. You know, we've decided, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And, you know, I can't tell what the future is going to bring. And, you know, maybe it'll work and that'll be awesome. But, you know, we're still so young right now. He's 25, I'm 23, and I still have, you know, a whole life ahead of me. Who knows what's going to happen? But right now, it feels really right to be with him. How did I meet my boyfriend? Well, funny story. My roommate saw him around campus a lot and knew that I would be totally into him. So she was like, oh my gosh, I'll give him your number. And I'm like, no, 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 it's so awkward. So actually I found out that we had a mutual friend. We hung out in a big group of all of his friends, and we ended up playing some kind of like drinking game of truth or dare, and he ended up kissing me, and it was really kind of cute. And yeah, so but then we kind of like saw each other a bit, but it wasn't really serious, and we kind of just kept going back to each other, and eventually it started getting a lot more serious. I started just being me and not trying to be perfect, and that's when he started to really fall for me. And who went 80-10-10 first? I did. I was in the middle of eating 80-10-10 the more recent time that we started hanging out again. I was, you know, trying to recover from my eating disorder, and it was helping me, and he didn't really get too into it until he saw Forks Over Knives like 8-9 months later, and then that's when he started to realize that he wanted to be vegan. And he's not 80-10-10. He doesn't really care about the macros as long as he's eating tons and tons of food. And I make him banana smoothies every morning, and he eats, you know, for the pretty much the most part, pretty healthy. But you know, he's a bit of a junky vegan, where he'll have like vegan cookies, vegan chips, and he loves that kind of stuff too. Let's see. My last question is from my sister. Who's your favorite sister? Well, I guess you win by default, Sophie. I'm just kidding. I love you. Thank you for that question. And that's it. I know it's a really long video. I really appreciate you guys who've stuck it out. And I just really appreciate all of the questions you guys had. And it just like warms my heart that, you know, people care. So thanks for watching, and thanks for asking about me, you guys. And I will see you later. Bye.